Child, between Ron DeSantis, Donald Trump, and that periodontal gingivitis having Tim Scott, when it comes to politics, girl, I don't know if I'm coming or going. But the girl's been asking me, how is it possible that I'm black and part of the LGBTQ plus community and live in Florida under Ron DeSantis? Want to talk about it? Here we go. Nessa girl, so I've been paying attention to what a lot of people have been saying across various social media platforms about me/us living in Florida, being black, being gay, being parts of other marginalized communities, and living up under the ruling of Governor Ron DeSantis. And a lot of people want to know how I do it and how we do it. And you know what? If I didn't live here in Miami, I probably would be asking the very same question. But once I break it down to you, it's really going to be quite simple. A lot of y'all laugh when people from Miami-Dade County or Miami say, we don't live in Florida, we live in Miami. And then I've seen some of y'all who don't understand it, y'all get indignant about it. That's just so ignorant. That's so ignorant. He is the governor of Florida. It affects y'all. That is so ignorant. And the reality of the situation is you really have to live here to understand it. There is a grave difference between Miami and the state of Florida. And the short answer before I break it down is a lot of the stuff that y'all see in the news, in the media, and on social media, when it comes to Florida, don't ask me how, but it straight up does not affect nor faze us in Miami-Dade County. Now, y'all may say, Funky Dineva, that's ignorant because it's the law. It's on the paper. I understand that. I understand what the laws is. I understand what's on the paper. I understand what's been signed into law. It doesn't mean that it's enforced. It doesn't mean that it's acknowledged. And it doesn't mean that it is taken to heart by residents of Miami, Florida. Now, in these recent times, have some of the actions of the politicians in Tallahassee been, their effects have been felt closer and closer and closer to those of us in Miami? Absolutely. Most recently, this immigrant situation that Ron DeSantis passed, that you will be charged with a felony if you are found, driving around with an immigrant or somebody in your car that's don't got their paperwork together. Yes, that has affected our construction market down here and part of our immigration pool of workers down here. I woke up this morning and I found out that in my county, Miami-Dade County, that Amanda Gordon, the young black girl that wrote the poem during the inauguration, that her poem has been stripped from the books in the elementary sector of Miami-Dade County, along with a few other titles, a Cuban title, a Langston Hughes title, and another title has been stripped from the elementary curriculum and moved to the middle school curriculum. And the parent that complained is still not pleased with that. But let me dig and dive a little deeper and help explain to y'all how it is that we are able to exist in Miami, Florida with this level of cognitive dissonance and be completely fine. Number one, Miami is a melting pot socioeconomically, racially, sexually orientationally, and every other lee out there. We are a stew of everything, right? So when you've got just this cornucopia of just different people, different things, different cultures, there is not one dominant ideology here in Miami. And because there's not one dominant ideology, everybody tends to just kind of do their own thing and respect those that don't do what they do, and those that don't do what they do respect what others do. And because there are so many different ideologies within Miami-Dade County, we are very segregated. And not segregated in like the civil rights type of segregation where it's, negative, but segregated based on interest and or lifestyle. So you've got gay neighborhoods. Okay, you got the gay neighborhoods. So because we have gay neighborhoods like Wilton Manors, Miami Shores is the gayborhood, then we've got South Beach. The things that go on the higher levels when it comes to LGBTQI issues don't really affect those neighborhoods because there's not anybody in those neighborhoods that are anti-gay and or trans. So you don't have business owners in Wilton Manors complaining about drag shows. You don't have residents in Wilton Manors complaining about the drag. Any and everybody knows in Miami, Florida, that if you go to Wilton Manors, you are entering a gay neighborhood. So everything here is gay. It is a safe space. So even if the laws say this, that, and the third, child, we not paying that no attention because we over here. The police is gay. The mayor is gay. The commission is gay. And we are insulated from the outside world. You've got Miami Gardens. Miami Gardens is the third largest African-American city in the nation. All right. For the most part, it is a very black city. So, a lot of y'all see South Beach and all those different things on when it comes to Miami. But Miami has a whole lot of other neighborhoods. A lot of the racial divide and stuff that's going on a political and a racial level doesn't necessarily affect the residents of Opelika, Miami Gardens, so on and so forth, because we are insulated. We don't go over there where them Trumpsters at, and they don't have no reason to come over here where we're at. So I guess the short answer to all of it is a little bit of cognitive dissonance and a whole lot of segregation, truth be told. And then outside of that, you've got people here who identify as Republican, but they are very liberal, right? Like, I have come to understand that a lot of people used to get upset because they would say, we don't understand how the Cuban population in Miami votes Republican and they're voting against their own interests, right? And a lot of us, including myself, used to take it so personal because we all know the immigrant narrative where people in other places are told, come to America and be anything or associate with anything other than black, right? And so my thought process was, because black people historically identify as Democrat, that is why a lot of these foreigners come over here and say they do not want to be Democratic or Democrat because they're, anti-black and trying to shy away from blackness. And it took me calming down, shutting my mouth, and opening my ears to understand that that's not all of it. Obviously, I'm here in Miami. There's a huge Latin population. And one of my Latin friends explained to me that a lot of Democratic policies, speaking points, feels like socialism and communism to the Cuban community, who has been deeply impacted and traumatized by Fidel Castro's communist Cuba. So their gravitation towards Republicans have less to do with anti-blackness and more to do with we are anything anti-communist and anti-socialist. But outside of that, we down with the gays, we down with the swirl, we down with the Tootsie Roll, we down with this, that, and the third. So you've got a lot of people who vote Republican and identify as Republican, but they are not Marjorie Taylor Greene, Matt Gaetz, Mitch McConnell. They're funky Dineva. They at the club doing the well, I ain't at the club doing the drugs no more, but they at the club doing the drugs, doing the Tootsie Roll on the dance floor, gay married, interracial married. There are all these different things, but they identify Republican for that purpose. Now, please, I'm not stupid. There are a faction of them that are racist, but y'all, Miami is a very, very different place. We're almost kind of like New York in the sense that everybody do their own thing and mind they damn business. All right? Miami is a great place to live if you gay. It's a great place to live if you black when it comes to diversity. Now, do some people down here have their ways? Yes, there are portions of the Latin community that are anti-black, and you can tell they don't really fool up with your ass. But guess what? There are so many other places for you to go. You don't even have to fool up with them. I can honestly say young Miami, I would say 30 and younger Miami, even 40 and younger Miami. 40 and younger Miami, bitch, got it going on. The mindset is completely different than that of older people. You come down to Wynwood, baby, everybody is partying with everybody. Everybody is having sex, love sex, dirty sex, every sex with everybody. You're definitely good from Fort Lauderdale down to Miami, down to South Miami, right? I don't know what the Key West girls are giving, but I assume Key West is pretty liberal. Once you start getting from Fort Lauderdale up to about West Palm is when things get a little shaky, and then anything north of West Palm becomes Florida, right? Now from West Palm to about Central Florida is 50-50. 50-50, whether they Trump or DeSantis or whether they cool with it. Anything north of Central Florida, bitch, is Southern Georgia, okay? And that is what y'all are seeing on the news and in the media. Y'all are seeing that part of Florida that feels like Georgia, all right? But us down here in South Florida, we pride ourselves on being a whole different country, state, continent from the rest of Florida because living is different. We kind of march to the beat of our own drum and kind of do what we want to do, and it just kind of is what it is. And that goes from our lawmakers, law enforcement, mayors on down. Like everybody is just kind of cool. Like a lot of the stuff that y'all see DeSantis is doing and saying to date doesn't really impact people on a day-to-day basis because of the level of segregation that we kind of have in the South Florida community. When it comes to them taking these things out of the curriculum in the Miami-Dade County school system, it still really is not going to affect the black students in the predominantly black areas because those teachers are going to teach that subject matter regardless. And here is the beautiful thing of systematic racism. Because we are in an all-black area, the system tends to neglect us. So there ain't nobody coming down from the district to see what Miss Williams is teaching the class full of Negro children. Because it is an all-black city, for the most part, we still have our Juneteenth festivals and our black-tailored Black History festivals, so on and so forth. And those things are still being taught. And, a lot of y'all are up in arms about what's being taught in these schools when honestly and truthfully, it really is a fucking hollow outcry because you should be more responsible for what your children are being taught than the school system anyway. But that is a subject for a whole nother day. When it comes to Miami and being LGBTQI+, Miami is a gay fucking city. So that's another thing. When you move here or when you live here, you know that you're signing up to be around a whole bunch of gay men and lesbian women. We are a very gay-friendly city. Those people that y'all see with those staunch beliefs about homosexuality and the LGBTQIA+ community, trust and believe. while I'm not naive enough to believe that a few of them don't live in South Florida, that is not the overwhelming majority of people. The overwhelming majority of people in South Florida don't give a fuck about gay, straight, bi, trans, one way or another. Gianni Versace lived here. Look at the movie The Birdcage with Robin Williams and whomever. That was filmed here in Miami. South Beach was built and ran by the gays and cocaine. So I hope this gives y'all a bit of insight on how it is I am able to live in Miami, Florida, but not live in Florida, if it makes sense. Be sure to like and subscribe if you're new around here, and I'll call y'all later. Bye.